Thank you so much for joining us today on our last day of the term and of the year. And today, the way I'd like to do it is really to start off with some final reflections from our two head boys, from Dean Purby in Year 6 as head of the juniors, and from Ty Ignite as head of our senior school. So I'm going to hand over to them to start off with, and then come back to you afterwards. So here is Dean.
Good morning, teachers and fellow students. I feel very proud to be speaking here in front of you as head boy. I think back to when I was first asked to be head boy. I remember feeling excited about the challenges and responsibilities that lay ahead, but I also remember the dread that I would be here delivering this speech. So here it goes. Having been part of this school for 8 years, a lifer, my first memory is walking through the huge gates and immediately making new friends and feeling happy, safe, and at home. I felt like that ever since. Thorpe House has changed a lot in the past 8 years. Kingscote became the pre-prep, and the pre-prep is now the low school. And of course, now we have a new and improved swimming pool, and the marvellous MPH, the Griffin Halls, to look forward to. I can still remember the warm smile of Mrs. Bedwell in nursery, and my first headmaster, the hard-working Mr. Locke. I'm grateful that lots of new and wonderful teachers have come to the school, making it an enjoyable place of learning. I would like to say a big thank you to Mr. Ayres for putting faith in me to be head boy. Personally, this has been a big year for me. I have tried to lead by example, inspire my peers and the younger boys to do even better and to feel proud of being a Thorpe House boy. Also, this year I really enjoyed becoming a supreme pastry chef. I'm glad my professional tower went down well in the teaching staff room. Obviously, the second half of the year has been a challenging one, but some good has come out of it. Mr. Hector Logan jumping over toilet rolls was an amazing feat by anyone's standards. Also, Mr. Britton finally admitting his secret love for football over rugby was a welcome revelation. And let's not forget the many miles we ran as part of the virtual park run. Thanks a lot, Mr. Day. On a serious note, the challenges presented by the global pandemic has affected our school. The time and effort that all the teachers have put into teaching us, either through weekly packs or online lessons, has been truly amazing and appreciated by all the children. We will never forget your efforts and thank you all. Also, we must thank Mr. Petrick, who has guided us through these uncertain times, much reminiscent of a certain Jurgen Klopp steering his team to the summit of the Premier League. However, there's one teacher I would like to say a few words about, and that's Mrs. Mack. She is courageous and has shown great strength through adversity and always has a smile on her face. Without her guidance and words of advice, I would not be the person I am today. She is a shining example to us all. Thank you, Mrs. Mack. Looking to the future, I am excited about all the new developments in the school, and I am proud to be part of this family. Finally, it is with great honour that I have been asked by Mr. Petrick to announce my successor, the new head boy. I am sure he will be a great example, represent the school and carry on its traditions. I'm pleased to announce our new head boy for Year 6 is Sean Riot. I wish him the best and thank you.
It is a great pleasure to be able to talk to you all today. After prize giving was cancelled, many had assumed that I would not be giving a speech at all, but you can't get rid of me that easily. On a very short notice, I have arrived to give what is possibly the only reason anyone wants to be head boy, the speech. In fact, I would feel quite distraught if I wasn't able to give a speech to you all. That being said, this will not be a normal one, as these are not normal times. I would still, however, like to say a few words. I used to roll my eyes at the wishy-washy platitudes of the head boy speech. Every time they'd go on about how much Thorpe had helped them, how many memories were made, or how much they'd miss it. Like everyone, I'd roll my eyes and just hope that they quickly got to the part where they make fun of teachers. But sitting here writing this speech, I realised that those wishy-washy bits are actually the most important. As someone who is not quite a lifer, but who has been at this school for what is nearly a decade, I can't quite express how different a person I would be had I not come here. It really is a place of character building and of making you come into your own. The school also seems to have a unique effect on teachers. That is, a good quarter of them becoming total nutjobs after half an hour having to deal with Porrick and Joe's mischief. I remember one occasion in particular where Joe spent an entire lesson just hiding under a table. But it would be unfair of me to bring this up without discussing my own shortcomings. Now, I understand that there have been some complaints about me here, that I'm not quite head boy material or that I don't act as a role model. Obviously, I would disagree. But ask Mrs. Safe or anyone in my year, and they would probably say just that. Many a time my deputies have tried to stage a coup to replace me, and many have said that I'd get fired, but you're all wrong. Despite it all, I made it to the very end, and for that I am glad. In all seriousness though, there are some topics I'd like to discuss, mostly about how the school is so rapidly changing. Of course, it kind of started with Mr. Ayres, new laptops, the multi-purpose sports hall that's recently been completed, and gym equipment in the playground for whatever reason. When Mr. Ayres left, I thought Mr. Wells may have finally gotten to vie for power, but then again, if he was headmaster, his perpetual threat of resignation and intense obsession with the Second World War might have become a bit of a problem. So instead came Mr. Petrick. When I first saw him, I've got to admit, I thought he looked a bit like Mr. Turner. His first year here has been very good, in spite of some minor bumps, such as a worldwide pandemic. Under Mr. Petrick, it does not seem as if any of this change will be slowing down or stopping. There are a great many projects and activities being started at the school. It's being expanded in many more ways than one, and I encourage all of you to get involved with the many opportunities being offered. Experiences like the DOE or Youth Speaks are ones that will stick with me forever, even if I'm still a bit salty about having lost Youth Speaks twice. There's one thing that I don't think any of us saw coming though. It's Mr. Day taking on serious responsibility. I'm joking, of course, don't cut me off. But it's interesting to see him increasingly try to take over the school, even moving into Mr. Wells' office, much to Mr. Wells' dismay. It wouldn't surprise me if Mr. Day usurped Mr. Wells as the head of seniors. With all this change, though, there is one thing that I fear. That the lovable camaraderie, the homeliness, the family aspects of Thorpe that I grew up with will be going away. That everyone knows everyone, that close-knit mutual bond and respect. And so, in my departing message, I send you all a task. To keep that spirit and that culture alive. To not let the Thorpe that I knew die out. I want Thorpe to forever be the inviting, friendly place that I know it is. And I trust you, the pupils, our new headmaster, the always lovely Mrs. Bevan, Mrs. Tyler, and all of the staff, to keep it that way. Thank you very much for listening to my speech, and I hope you all have a lovely holiday. I've also got to announce the new head of seniors, senior head boy, that is. It is going to be Andrew Partridge. So congratulations to Andrew Partridge, and I wish him all the best in being the new head boy. Thank you.
Well, my thanks to both Dean and to Ty. They have been a wonderful credit and ambassadors for us here at the school, and we wish them all the very best on their next part of their adventure. So what a year it has been. Earlier in the year, it was all about Brexit, the good old days. Now we are confronted every day with the very sinister challenge of COVID-19. It is easy for us right now. We're thinking that 2019-20 has not been the year we would have wanted, and I cannot disagree. Who could have foreseen the challenges with which we have had to contend? However, I've had some parents and pupils, not many to be fair, saying they feel it has been a wasted year, and I would definitely disagree with that point of view. Perhaps with the events of the past few months, there are those who will take a half glass empty approach, and I get that. But I would rather we could be a half glass full school, if not in 3/4. Let me provide you with reasons as to why we should still be grateful for the past year, and reasons why I am incredibly proud of our community here at Thorpe House. I remember going back to the start of the year, attending some of the sports fixtures. The under-11 tournaments and bonus prep particularly sticks in my mind as one of those occasions where it was just fantastic to see the boys so fully engaged in what they were doing and working together as a team. They won the tournament comprehensively. Over the course of the year, we have had some incredible team and individual successes, with our under-14s making it all the way to the quarter-final of the English Schools Football Association National Cup. The under-12 rugby team coming 5th out of 40 teams in the Berkshire District Tournament. I'm not quite sure why in the Berkshire District Tournament rather than Buckinghamshire, but a fantastic accomplishment all the same. It was a year where Year 6 emerged as champions in the Wickham District Football Competition. The Year 9s, following up their success in football, also became district champions in rugby. At an individual level, Andrew Partridge represented Great Britain in the World Laser Run Championships and came 34th. Tom Langley was selected to represent Buckinghamshire at under-16 level in rugby. Frederick Plant has represented the Independent Schools Football Association under-14 national side. And Ethan Mullally qualified 13th for the national swimming finals. And Patrick Donovan has emerged as one of the leading young racing drivers in the country. Beyond that, 220 of you, from Year 1 through to Year 11, have represented the school in competitive sport. That is absolutely fantastic, and I couldn't be more proud of you all. Beyond this, since the lockdown as a school, you have also run the distance of Gerrards Cross to Inverness and back during your virtual park runs. That's over 1,000 miles that you have run. A large number of you have also participated in the Thorpe Olympics and participated in the daily fitness activities put on by the very excellent games department. Today's Batman workout is, I think, our most viewed Twitter video of the year, although the toilet roll challenge has done pretty well as well. I would also like to acknowledge an achievement by a member of staff, and that is Mr. Headmaster Logan being appointed as head of boys rugby for Buckinghamshire. That is a great testament to his experience and ability, and we are very proud to have him here as part of our game staff. Moving away from sport, you have made incredible contributions to our local community through your charitable endeavours. Year 5 boys regularly visited the Austinwood Nursing Home throughout the year. You all contributed to the London Slough Run for the homeless last harvest and continue to support the Storehouse charity during the lockdown. You have done incredible events for Macmillan Cancer. Mrs. Mack deserves a special mention here for getting her hair cut off for charity. You've also supported Baby Loss Awareness Week, Children in Need, Books to Africa, Elizabeth's Legacy of Hope, Hearing Dogs, the Poppy Appeal, and Buckinghamshire NHS. Over the course of the year, you have raised thousands of pounds, and you should all be very proud of how you have looked to give back something of yourselves to those less fortunate, to the people whose lives you have made better. This has most certainly not been a wasted year. We have also had visitors to school, including dinosaurs and Anglo-Saxon warriors, as well as trips out, activity days, to Ipswich Zoo, the Harry Potter Studios, the Roald Dahl Museum, the Science Museum, West End Theatre Productions, Wembley Stadium, the Geography Field trip to Bristol, the Battlefields trip to Belgium and France, and in a few days' time, some of Year 10 will also be undertaking their Duke of Edinburgh expedition, canoeing down the Severn River. We would have done even more if not for COVID-19. There have also been some incredible occasions where you have showcased your talents, whether it was in the carol services, in Thorpe's Got Talent, or in the nativity performance. They were all wonderful occasions, and it's been amazing to see the range of talent within the school. We have some extraordinary magicians, and music talent is also great, especially when Thorpe voices come together. Music in the school is something I really want to see progress, and I hope you will all watch the virtual summer concert to which so many of you have contributed, and which can be seen now on YouTube and on our social media feeds. In terms of other events, we had an extraordinary battle earlier in the year between some of our older pupils as they campaigned in our mock election, sharing their political ideologies and giving us all some hope that the future is bright in the hands of these future leaders of society. We have also had teams competing in the National Quiz Championship and UK Maths competitions, achieving some terrific successes. Even during the lockdown, you've continued to participate in poetry and photography competitions, with Rowan Bowler winning the poetry competition and Josh Nichols winning the photography competition, both with very moving reflections on these past few months and conveyed in their own unique way. looking ahead. In September, we will be returning to school, and I hope you will all be very excited to do so. And let me tell you some of what you should be excited about. We now have our new sports hall up and running, and that has been called Griffin Hall. And we look forward to having a formal opening for that as soon as we can, and Jeff Hurst remains lined up to come and do that. We have brand new classrooms down in Griffin Hall as well for years 4 and 5. We have a new reception area, or at least a newly refurbished area, and the work for that is going to be starting on Monday, and I hope that will make it an incredibly inviting place for you to come into. We will also have a new physics lab, so that we now have bespoke labs and science block for biology, chemistry, and physics. The DT workshop is being relocated, so we have a new workshop and classroom where the old year 4 and 5 classrooms were, just underneath the art department, bringing together all our arts in a nice way. We're also going to have our dining area freshly redecorated or finished decorating and refurbished, and we have exciting catering to look forward to from September. Beyond the fabric of the school, we are changing the school day, which, although it will mean a slightly longer day for years 6 to 11, it does come with a different approach to homework to encourage you to enjoy other pursuits outside of school. In year 9, we're also beginning our new GCSE program, which has a very exciting new enrichment program alongside your chosen subjects. I'm so excited about this because it really is a unique offering you will not find in other schools. We're also going to be really focusing on bringing the house competition to life and having a comprehensive set of house events which will involve everyone in the school. It is going to be genuinely exciting to come back. Of course, I'm not going to be so naive as to say it will simply be as it was before. The world has now changed, and although I hope a normality of sorts will return, there will inevitably be some differences. We will have to have bubbles within the school in September. We will be having you all back, and that's what we take delight in. Those bubbles will be in accordance to your sections, so we'll have the lower school, which is reception to year 5, middle school year 6 to 8, and the upper school is 9 to 11. You will have to have allocated areas for your breaks, and we will have to have very regimented lunch to get you all through. But I'm confident it will all work. And the reason I am so confident is that I hope you recognise there are a team of people here at Thorpe, the teachers and the support staff, who are completely committed to you and to supporting you to achieve your potential. Everything that has been achieved over the past term has been down to their efforts. And I hope you will, in your own ways, acknowledge those who have managed to keep the school ticking along. It has not been as straightforward for many of your peers in other schools, and I hope you appreciate that. There is a lot of talk about how your generation are going to have your education adversely affected. But those who have had a Thorpe education, I genuinely do not believe that will be the case. Quite the contrary. I believe that we continue to provide you with an outstanding education that is going to set you up for a very bright future indeed. It has been a real privilege to also read many of your personal reflections in your reports. What has come through very clearly is that you have not had a wasted year or even a wasted term. You have learnt a host of new skills that you would never have learnt otherwise. You are all now masters of online meeting groups. You know your way around platforms that will be equally valuable in later life. You've learnt how to utilise online documents and make presentations to your peers. The skills you've acquired with Google can be equally transferred across to Microsoft, and there's really no tool in the cloud that should cause you to feel apprehension in the future. Prior to this term, schools were not teaching how to utilise all of these resources. There has been a wake-up call to educators that we probably should have been. You may not appreciate it right now, but your generation have been pioneers in the education landscape. Education has taken a big step forward in the past few months, and so have you. This is a time for celebrating what we've accomplished, but it is also a time for farewells, and I wish all of our boys who are heading to pastures new every success for the future. I hope you will all leave with fond memories of your time with us. We hope you will remain in touch. Being part of the Thorpe family does not end when you leave us. In conclusion, all the boys who are listening, I've talked many times to you about us aiming to be better today than we were yesterday. I believe that you have all taken great strides forward over the past few months. What none of us must do now is allow ourselves to fall into the glass half full mentality, or even half empty for that matter. I've used this quote before, and I'll use it again. Michelangelo said, "The greatest danger for us lies not in setting our aim too high and falling short, but in setting our aim too low and achieving our mark. Now, more than ever, we need to aim high." The parents who have joined us today, I will always hold on to what Nathaniel Woodard said about our responsibility as educators to you and to your children. He said we only have one chance with the education of our children, so their tomorrow must be our urgency today. Thank you for trusting us with the education of your sons. We take that responsibility incredibly seriously, and we always will. I will be following up with a rather more detailed letter to all the parents about the year we have had and arrangements for next term. But for now, I wish you all a wonderful summer, and I look forward to seeing you all in September. Thank you very much. Take care and God bless. Have a great summer.